Welcome. You have entered the realm of 1111 Talk Radio. Your host is Simran. It's time to discover your own language with the universe. Empower yourself, broaden your mind, open your heart, and discover who you are. Now, here's your host, Simran.
Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here with me today and that you are coming to receive, to ground, to open your heart and find a place to be really present. In this day and time, especially on the news, out in the world, there are so many issues that are creating fear in the world, that are things that we can react to or that can take us down all kinds of rabbit holes that have us doubt and get scared or go into all of the beliefs that we carry about what we perceive the world to be, rather than what is truth, what is alive, what is real. And it's in those moments that we have to reset. We have to remind ourselves, but more so, we have to remember that we're not alone, that we have angels, we have guides, we have guardians, we have an entire universe, a cosmos, a galaxy, stratospheres that are here to support us if we simply will open our hearts and our minds to them, if we'll simply open our vibrations and our frequencies to them. I'm really excited today about the guest who's a return guest because she brings forth that message in a powerful new book. And I'm going to read a little bit from one of the sections in her book before I introduce her. The outgrown beliefs that are driving your politicians, religious leaders, corporations, and governments are influencing your choices from the subconscious level to the conscious level. Instead of recognizing the clear and higher vibrational choice of love, many human beings, even enlightened and aware human beings, are still feeling enslaved and find themselves suffering from exhaustion and the sacrifice of overworking. The 12 Archangels invite you to experience the miracle making that happens by simply holding the intention that all currency in any form comes from divine oneness. Intending that money comes from source immediately raises the vibration of the thought form of money and helps you receive it through the divine mother of the great universe. We're going to be talking a bit today about abundance, about wealth, about really rising up into a space where you understand what true wealth is in all of its forms and that you have support. My guest today is Belinda J. Womack, and she has been a clear messenger for the 12 Archangels for more than 30 years. She offers a multitude of online courses, advanced trainings, and consultations on the teachings of the 12 Archangels of the Central Sun through her website, belindawomack.com. She's the author of the newly released book, Angel Abundance, Revelations on True Wealth from the 12 Archangels, and the best-selling book, Lessons from the 12 Archangels, in which she had appeared previously. So you can search the archives for that episode as well. Welcome, Belinda. It's so wonderful to have you back on.
Thank you so much, Simran. I'm so excited about our conversation with the angels.
Well, I want to start first with where we are in the world in terms of, it does seem that there is a heightened fear. There definitely is divisiveness in politics because we will have elections coming up next year. There's all kinds of issues that are getting raised because of politics that make it even more heightened because you're constantly bombarded with those messages of how everything is so wrong. And I think that that's something that really does end up closing people's hearts. And one of my own contemplations in recent months has been, are our hearts really open? Do we really even know how to love, how to open to love? And you talk about undiluted love. Speak to what that is and how we can start to open our hearts and remove those blocks to love that we have.
Undiluted love is the energy that we all come from. It's where schoolroom earth in her essence comes from. And it's where all the angels come from, all beings of the great universe. And it's a power And it's a healing energy that will lift us in vibration. And what does that mean? Well, lifting us in vibration brings us into the vibration of heaven. And heaven is a place where there is no fear. And fear is what causes violence and greed and the thought form of money and politicians and political strife and economic crisis. It's what is the creator of everything that we don't want, and that from the angel's perspective, we have grown out of. But we still need to make that choice to plug into undiluted love, which just means pure love, because it is the vibration where fear cannot exist. That vibration or frequency is too pure, it is too high. And it's an alchemical power in the sense that when we choose to be in that love with our thoughts, with our feelings, it transforms the fear within us, certainly in our subconscious, and then that changes the outer reality. The angels teach that it's a divine law, as above, so below, as within, so without. If we want to help to change the global movie, we do that from within by bringing that pure love within us. That, according to the law, will help shift and change that outer reality. So to open one's heart really does mean to step in or to use the divine feminine bigger part of our human brain. That's actually where we connect. It's where we plug into source. It's where we communicate with our soul. What is that? It's the creative, intuitive brain. It's the part of us that feels, that knows beyond this realm, beyond the fear. And it's the bigger part of our brain that says, miracles are real. Love is real. That's where I'm going to focus my intention and my energy instead of getting pulled way down into where I feel powerless, where I feel helpless. You see, love and being in that expanded, bigger part of our brain called heart, then we connect with angels and guides and helpers, and we see and experience a completely different life each and every day. And that's how we can facilitate incredible, positive, wonderful change, even in the chaos.
When I look at our Western society in particular, there's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of busyness, a lot of overwork. People are trying to do this to get that, and strategizing and really creating a lot of complexity for themselves. And you have a line in the book that says, I learned that the ego cannot give to the self what the ego does not have in the first place. That we must ask Mother, Father, God, and Soul, parentheses, higher self, to give us what is missing. And in my case, this was a sense of self-worth. It is the very basis of abundant consciousness grounded in this real lack of self-worth. And if so, where does that lack of self-worth come from?
So Simran, you understand this well. The ego is the only part of our humanity that can believe it is separate and independent from source and from soul. And so when that ego that is so vulnerable to fear, when it buys into fear, when it gets seduced by fear, and that means controlling thoughts, I'm not good enough thoughts, I'm lacking thoughts, I don't have anything to offer kind of thoughts, then that pulls us away vibrationally from soul and from source. And one thing it causes is loneliness and despair, and can certainly make us depressed. But it pulls us away from our divinity. which is the big powerhouse of our worth and of the truth of our worth, that we are divine beings, and that when we ask our higher self and our helpers in heaven, we ask Mother, Father, God, Creator, pick your terminology, for help to support us, to take care of us. That's what we will experience. But when we get pulled into the ego that is falling down, as you said, the rabbit hole, falling down into, I don't have it, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I'll never have enough, then what we may not understand is we are really sabotaging ourselves. We're making it just that much more challenging, because we create what we experience. We create it with our thoughts and our feelings. So we need to keep that ego. We need to bring that ego home and understand that it's true. The ego cannot give to itself what it doesn't have, but the higher self soul is always completely saturated with the love of Source. And that is where our abundance is. So it's not about looking outside of ourselves. We can do that and likely get pretty frustrated, but it's an intention. Bring me home. Bring my humanity, my ego home to soul. I surrender my ego and everything that I want. I surrender it to my higher self. And we breathe. And we're going to feel better. And that's what helps us to receive from Source. The doing is what the ego has been pretty much brainwashed to do by what the angels call fear's old male. You just do and you do and you do, and you separate more from your feminine, more from your feelings, more from your intuition. When you stop and you breathe and you say, I choose love and I surrender, that immediately plugs your humanity into your divinity so that you can receive, so that you can step back into the flow that created you in the first place.
Many individuals were never really raised in a way that they may have felt they could call upon angels or call upon even their higher self for something. It seemed that the world was too real. Can you explain for individuals that are not familiar with you or familiar with your work who the 12 archangels of the central sun, soul, and source are, and why are they a team of 12? What do they symbolize? Just to give us an idea of how we can connect and understand this vast team that surrounds us always.
The 12 archangels of the central sun are loving forces that help to hold schoolroom earth together. Sometimes I will call them the governors, not to give them our authority, because that's not what they want, but they help to fill our planet. Our planet, Mother Earth, is one of the 12 archangels. That would be Archangel Gaia. And so they are holding us in the vibration of love. So no matter how crazy and wacky the world may seem, it's part of our education, and they are, together with many, many other loving beings, are not going to let us self-destruct. Their number is symbolic because it means evolution. If you look at the numbers on a clock face, or the 12 months of the year, or the 12 signs of the zodiac, we are always moving forward, especially if we learn to let go of the past and forgive that which is unforgivable. That's the way the 12 archangels teach us. They say, keep forgiving the past, because we tend to bring the past forward into the future. So they help us to evolve, and they're helping our humanity to evolve, to come home to our divinity. They work with all healers and teachers here to help hold the love and to lift the consciousness, meaning to help raise the vibrations of fear and all of its different many, 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 many layers, all the way down to the deepest, darkest evil. So they help us to shift these vibrations. So for anyone that is new to angels or to the archangels, the easiest way to connect with them and to start to experience on a conscious level, because they help everyone all the time, but it's wonderful when it becomes conscious, is to begin to a very simple practice to say, thank you, angels. Thank you for helping me to understand whatever it is you need to understand. Thank you for helping me with whatever you need to do. You fill in the blank. And those words, thank you, shift your vibration of your ego mind because they bring in gratitude. And it makes it easier for you to start to experience, hey, I was helped. I'm being helped. And that is a beautiful thing because we human beings, we like proof. We want tangible evidence. It's the way the Creator made us. So just by saying thank you angels, thank you archangels, thank you fairies, thank you loving guides in heaven, thank you loved ones in heaven, thank you for helping me. And then you tell them what you need help with. They're still going to be helping you, even if you forget. But when you remember, it helps that ego, that conscious mind, to go, oh, I am spirit. I am more than this helpless, powerless, sometimes lost person. That's the wonder and the beauty of our angelic friends. Always, always wanting to love us and shift us in vibration closer to pure love, because that's where happiness is, Simran, right? Love and happiness, pure, pure happiness, freedom. Freedom and happiness come together with abundance. And that's the mission of the angels, is to help us to experience more of that on the hour here on Schoolroom Earth.
I think that there are probably some people out there that might be thinking, well, angels, why don't you do something? Why don't you fix what's going wrong on the earth? Why don't you stop what's happening in different countries when it comes to war? Why don't you take care of our young children and the pollution and the opioid crisis? If you care so much about us, why aren't you stepping in and intervening? And I think that in our world, there's not just fear, but a cousin to that fear can often be slothfulness, where there is this sitting back and a sense of laziness in terms of perhaps not believing enough in self or not feeling empowered enough, feeling as if there is this lowly victim consciousness that seems to override everything. What would the archangels say in regard to wanting things to come in and be fixed for us?
So, Simran, I'm just going to bring in the 12 archangels. Beautiful ones. We have boundaries. You see, we are not allowed to rescue you. We do help facilitate divine interventions where you have aha moments, where you recognize and you wake up and you learn to make the choice for love. With this acknowledged, what we encourage you to do is to find fear's old male of control and not enough and judgment, and fear's old female. These are just terms that we use of I am a victim. So victim consciousness. I am weak. I am powerless. I am guilty. I need to feel ashamed. I'm going to be punished. And you take all of these lies and you use the energy of your crown chakra. It's a battery of spiritual energy in the color violet. And you put all of these lies into this singing light of the central sun, heart of creator. Step into a violet fire river and release these lies of the old male and old female and say, I choose love. I choose to remember who I am. Now we come back to this situation on Schoolroom Earth. We have some good news for you. This is that Earth is purging fear of the past. She is purging the past. So help Schoolroom Earth to move into a different reality for all. Forgive your own broken past. Forgive even that which feels unforgivable. Forgive it for your ancestors. Forgive it for your past life selves. Forgive all that is broken, because that helps to change the reality for all concerned. Now, what about this global movie? You, human being, are a cell in the human collective. We call this the one human body. As you bring love from heaven, the as above, into your soul below, into your humanity, you raise the vibration of the cell that is you. And that healthiness radiates out to the other human beings who symbolically may have cancer. And this is how you help to change this story for the human collective. Now, we are not slothful. We are not lazy. We work together with divine oneness. Every sentient being that lives within oneness, lives within the great universe. And we sing. We sing to Schoolroom Earth. What does this do? It raises the vibration of every subatomic particle of energy, every atom of energy that is within every human being, every blade of grass, even your pollution. We are raising the frequency, and we are raising it as fast as you can handle it. So you may say, but why is there more violence, more destruction? And we say to wake you up. It is not that we support such things, but we are holding the force of love so that you wake up. Messengers, students, teachers for all of oneness. And you bring love where love is missing. We tell you that love transforms pollution, it transforms violence, it transforms greed, but it begins within you. You need to remember who you are. This is the purpose of Schoolroom Earth, and you signed up and lined up to come here. You insisted. I want to learn who I am. I want to learn what love is. I want to learn what fear is. And I want to be the alchemist that transforms the fear into love. Be the change. You are the change. And no matter what it looks like, Schoolroom Earth is healing. We cannot lie. And so we fill you with the truth. Healing is accelerated, continuously accelerated in this moment of now. We are the 12 archangels of the central sun, filling your vessels with undiluted love, helping you to bring your ego home, to remember All there is love. All there is love.
Thank you, 12 Archangels. The 12 Archangels ask us to live within the heart, a vibration of undiluted love that is powerful and life-changing. From this sanctuary of heaven within us, we can receive all that we desire that provides us with real happiness. They encourage us to do this by lifting our low vibration thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and expectations out of fear and into trust. Living in abundance with angels is the best way to create a never-ending, happy childhood where we feel secure, valued, and free. The 12 Archangels share lessons on the relationship between money and divine law, how to cultivate your garden of intuition and creativity, and how to resolve financial debt with understanding and love. They offer nighttime practices that support your transformation into a vessel to receive the full blessings of Source. They also offer advanced practices on harnessing your innate power to transform suffering. You can find out more about all of this at Belinda's website. If you will just go to belindawomack.com. She has been a clear messenger for the 12 Archangels for more than 30 years, and she does offer personal consultations along with a multitude of online courses, advanced trainings, and consultations on the teachings of the 12 Archangels. I urge you to get this book. It is beautiful. It goes not only into your individual journey around abundance and the revelations on true wealth from the 12 Archangels, but the second half of the book really does dive into so many of the areas and issues that we are facing in the world at this time. And as I've always said, one person can make a difference. We'll be right back with Belinda Womack after these messages. Go to belindawomack.com.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Have you seen 1111? Do you wonder why certain numbers keep showing up in your life? 11, 111, 22, 33, 444. People all over the world are seeing 1111 and learning the language of universal communication. Subscribe to 1111 Magazine today. www.1111mag.com. 1111 Magazine is a bi-monthly print publication that offers a rich multi-sensory experience. As you engage with experts and topics of consciousness, become enlightened, empowered, and energized, so you live a passionate and authentic life of conscious choices. 1111 Magazine, a daily staple for lifting the mindset, discovering the heart, and stepping into conscious living. 1111 Magazine. Order now at www.1111mag.com. 1111mag.com.
Do you want more? More joy, more abundance, more power and presence? How would it feel to have more loving relationships, more empowered community, greater fulfillment, and life purpose? The 1111 Mastermind community inspires, empowers, guides, and supports transformation. Shift your mind, expand your heart, deepen insights, let go and chart a new course, dream a new dream. The 1111 Mastermind community is an online portal for personal transformation and soulful expansion. Go to courses.1111mag.com. That's courses.1111mag.com. Change begins with you. Let it be simple, convenient, and transformative. The time is now. Step through the 1111 gateway. Courses.1111mag.com.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. Simran is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at IamSimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
Before we get back to my guest, I want to mention my new trilogy. I hope that you will pick it up. It is titled Living the 7 Blessings of Human Experience, which goes into your personality, identity, and the part of you that you think is conscious but is actually walking unconscious in the world. The second book is Being, the 7 Illusions that Derail Personal Power, Purpose, and Peace. This goes into the illusions that we have gotten caught up in, like time, money, hierarchy, war, even identity. And you are allowed to go into places that rise you to a higher octave of being once you discover these low vibrational unconscious selves. And the third book is Knowing, the 7 Human Expressions of Grace, ways that you can rise into giving yourself the graces that are required to open up to higher and higher grace. I invite you to pick that up and open it as oracles while you read any other books, and it definitely will support you in tapping into places that you may have deeply repressed or hidden away from yourself. So check that out. My guest today is Belinda Womack, and her book is Angel Abundance, Revelations on True Wealth from the 12 Archangels. I highly recommend you pick this up. It will transform so much for you in your life and enlighten you in ways around wealth, abundance, money, and some of the debt that you have. It will also be a beautiful tool in supporting the transformation of poverty, the story of exile, homelessness, war crimes, school issues, and all of the things that we seem to see on the news and hear about on a daily basis these days. It's time for us each to do our part and do the work that's necessary to shift everything on the inside so that we can watch that mirror on the outside also change. The 12 Archangels say, we encourage you to begin each day saying, I invite my divine inner child to show me how to fully surrender my ego to the joy of soul. Thank you, divine inner child, for helping me to remember that I am a child of the Divine Mother of the great universe. Thank you, heart and soul, for filling my entire being with the healing energy of love and comfort that you offer me. I am grateful that the Divine Mother is my true mother, and that you want me to feel safe, secure, and loved. Angel Abundance is filled with beautiful meditations and all kinds of prayers that can support your own healing journey and awaken you to areas in your consciousness that you may need to discover at this time. Belinda, welcome back. I wanted to talk a little bit about wealth. In the first line that we started out with, where we talked about the ego can't give something to us, I think about what the ego views as wealth and abundance. How is that very distinct and different than what the soul views as wealth and abundance? And when we're going after something that the ego wants as wealth, are we actually diverting away from the soul?
Well, we can bring it together. We need to bring that ego and the soul together. And the best way to do that, the easiest way, is to say consciously, I surrender all of the wants of my ego to the power of my soul to provide for me. So let's look at wealth. The way that fears, again, this is the way the angels describe fear, but fear's old male and fear's old female have conditioned us through a lot of, media and just lifetimes of being conditioned to believe that money is the power, money is the source, and that in a way, money is the Divine Mother, right? If we have plenty of money or if we have that financial abundance, then we can buy happiness. We can buy whatever it is that we need. And you can probably figure this out, that the 12 archangels and the ascended masters and guides in heaven, they laugh at that, but they laugh with love. And they say, well, money is actually created from a thought form full of fear. So when you crave money because you think it's going to solve all of your problems, be careful. Because you can actually pull your vibration down deeper into fear, deeper into addiction, deeper into a sense of powerlessness and I have to have it. And self-doubt, which they say creates, actually, it facilitates the manifestation of financial debt, because that debt is mirroring back to us self-doubt that we are divine beings. The angels define true wealth as happiness that comes with freedom. If we look at how money has enslaved all of us from all levels, all over the world, we have become enslaved to this thought form of money, especially to the fear of not having enough of it, no matter how much we may have. And the angels they talk about in their book that some people who have more money than they can ever spend are the most unhappy. So from their perspective, they are the most poor because they don't have freedom. They are enslaved to the false power that they feel that money gives them. And so their point, the angels' point and mission in their book and in their teachings that I've been blessed to bring through for all these decades, is that your soul wants you, human being, to have it all. Your soul understands you're on schoolroom earth and that you need financial resources in order to function in this paradigm that is so entrenched in the thought form of money. They say that you don't actually need it, but because you so believe that you need money because, again, it's become part of the structure. We might think of that as even the Saturnian structure that, as you talked about, Simran, that's in your book, that comes with time, right? Time and money. So if we surrender to our soul, and one of the beautiful ways to do that is to go through the divine inner child, because that brings it home. That gives us a way to connect our soul to our own humanity through that inner child. When we do that and we say, I surrender, soul, provide for me, higher self, your soul is your higher self, provide for me true wealth. It's a powerful prayer. It's an incredible intention. Provide for me true wealth. It comes with happiness. It comes with health. It comes with prosperity. It comes with healing for your relationships. It comes with awareness and awakening. So why not have it all? Why not have that safety and security that truly we cannot experience if it doesn't come from source? Because money doesn't really make us safe at all. It can make us, again, feel far more afraid. Now, the angels are not saying, hey, we're going to take your money away. We're going to make sure you have everything you need. Ask for the miracle of true wealth. So, Simran, did Belinda and the angels answer your question?
Yes, and I think that there's a subtler point that I'd love you to expand on, and that is, so often the blame or the pointed finger goes to, well, it's the big corporations, or it's the greedy billionaires, or it's the people that have all the money. They're the ones that are doing all this to us. And so it's that constant pointing outward seems to be weakening us, and you're pointing everyone in. You're saying they're not the source of your problem, and they're not going to be the source of your wealth. It's not going to fall out of the sky. Those problems out there are not going to be fixed for you. You have to go fix it internally. Can you expand a little bit on that so that any listener that is having that issue might be able to better understand, to stop projecting outward and move inward?
Well, what human beings can do so easily is to make money the magic parent or the magic person or the magic source that is going to rescue them from whatever their story may be, from whatever their life experience may be. But you see, we are on schoolroom earth. So whether we like it or not, we are in school to learn that we are divine beings. So the power has always been within us. And the way we find that power truly is to plug back in, to use that divine feminine part of our brain. That means to open to that creative genius. That's where our creative ideas come from. Doing anything creative helps us to tap into our inner wealth, that incredible flow that keeps coming from the great universe that has given all of those genius inventors in our world their solutions to problems that they try to solve. Well, we have the same ability, and all we need to do is to listen to our intuition. So how do we do that? Well, it helps to quiet one's mind, and it's a very simple thing, but it's quite profound, is to feel our feelings by saying, okay, what is it that I feel? What is it that I'm feeling? By asking that simple question, we start to connect to that feminine brain, where the masculine brain is the ego brain. It speaks in logic, it's rational, it's analytical, it talks about time, and it talks about fear. So when we plug into the feminine brain, then we open to that flow of intuitive knowing that that's our higher self that gives us the solution to any problem that we may have. Because again, we are in school, we are learning, and that is how we open to that inner wealth, that finding that internal gold. That gives our power back. And what human beings don't understand is that what we really want, we don't really want the money. If you think about it, what the angels teach is, well, what do you want to use the money for? And how many, 50-foot yachts can you really use at a time? What you want is heaven. Now, heaven is a vibration. It's a vibration where there is no fear, but there is happiness, joy, good health, benevolence, grace. So jubilee. So when we raise that vibration, which we must do from the inside, then we naturally, organically start to experience more abundance, more happiness and freedom. So this is the way to have truly what we desire. What we desire as human beings is good health and freedom, and that happiness, and of course the financial freedom, the prosperity to do what we need to do without getting distracted. And the other thing that plugging into the feminine so helps us with from the inside out is we're going to know what our purpose is. Each and every human being has come to Schoolroom Earth with something to accomplish, something for self, something to learn or to master, but also something to give, something to share. You can think of this as, the students of Schoolroom Earth, they're not from Earth. They're from all over the great universe. Coming here, you were not born in your middle school. You came from your neighborhood and you went to your school. Well, Schoolroom Earth is structured the same way. So souls from all over the great universe choose to come here to express through their humanness, through their ego, to give something. And when we give something, just like Simran gives her teaching and shares her wisdom, then we feel so good in our hearts. It makes the divine child within us dance and sing. And there's nothing like pure joy. But money doesn't give that to anyone. You cannot buy that. So to just say what's going to give me that money can actually make us plug more into what the angels call the patriarchal male and the patriarchal old male, which created the system that pushed out the feminine, which means the creative, the sensitive, the feelers. So if we want to help change the world, it's a beautiful miracle to ask, what do I feel? And why am I here? Everything changes when we begin to ask and to listen to the intuition answer those two questions. The angels ask you, Simran, do you agree with us?
I absolutely do agree with you. I'm excited about what you're saying. I had my own experience years ago where I kept talking about us being the spiritual rebel. And when I was a young child, I heard someone say, depression is a cry for creativity. And in your book, you have creativity is a pipeline to receiving wealth. And it is that intuition and creativity that spur that, which really is the spiritual rebel. I'd love to ask the 12 archangels a little bit about the feminine, because I think at this time, there are many women who are fighting to express their feminine, thinking that more bold, loud, more active, angry female is the feminine. It's not what you've just described as the soft, as the feeler. It's really much more guarded and very busy, much more masculine than what women are intended to be. And when you're talking about this feminine, can you speak to it in regard to the gender that is female, but then also regardless of gender, as to how to open more to that softness rather than staying in this mindset of, as you call it, the old male and the old female?
We are the 12 archangels of the central sun, and we have gathered the divine mothers, the divine females, ascended masters from heaven to respond to your question. Our community answer is that the feminine means to receive. If we had to define from our perspective, what is feminine? It is the receptive aspect of Creator. It is the receptive aspect of divinity. So when you are receiving love, you raise your vibration and all things change. This does not diminish your ability to express yourselves. That inner expression is feminine. To express yourself loudly is masculine. But let us help all of you to understand the feminine in the human female. Why are there females and males on schoolroom earth? Well, we say that every female has a male and every male has a female. Well, what you are really speaking to is emotion. And emotion is the divine feminine. It is energy in motion. So not only is the feminine, the divine feminine receptive, it moves energy, and it does this with sound. Sound is emotion. Light is thought. A Mother, Father, God, Creator are both sound and light. So when human beings are emotionally, forgive us, but emotionally constipated, they are not releasing the emotions that have been laden with fear, repressed by fear, and squashed by the masculine. These emotions are rage, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, blame, victim consciousness, fear, and sorrow. So when you allow those emotions to move by bringing in love, receiving love, and acknowledging them, but releasing them with the intention that they rise up, you send them to the central sun, to the heart of Creator. You put them in the color violet and you forgive. You forgive it all. With energy, you are forgiving. Then what happens is your emotion, it is beautiful. It starts to move you forward in miraculous ways. Your creativity, it explodes. And you become a force of the divine feminine. Nothing can stop you. Well, you do not have to be an angry, frustrated male in order for this to happen. And we say that the feminine lives within the human male. But he has been conditioned. He has been taught, do not feel, do not ask, what is it that I feel? Do not ask yourself, what is it that I need? What is it that I need to ask from my own soul, to ask from source to fill me with? He has been conditioned to believe in authority. The authority of fierce patriarchal male, which just means he's old. It means that he has filled your brains, that you obey a hierarchical order where some have more power than others. What is their power made out of? It is made of fear. So when you hold that intention to come into your feminine, it is soft, but it is fierce. It is the Sphinx. It is the lioness. It is the matriarchal elephant. It is the great redwood forest saying, I hold you. No fear can harm you. Plug into source and receive the creative genius ideas that you came here to share, that no one can take from you because it is your assignment. If every human male could understand this, and every human female, then the patriarchal old male of fear, he loses his shorts and his guns. We are the 12 archangels, thanking you for your courage, divine feminine ones.
Thank you, 12 archangels. You mentioned that light is thought, thought is light, that color is emotion, emotion is color, sound, sound is emotion, emotion is sound. Color is very rampant throughout this book. It is used in a beautiful and healing way. Can you speak a little bit to color? We have about 2 minutes left, but I'd love to have that expressed on the show.
Color is light and sound, sound and light of the central sun. The central sun is the heart of divine oneness. It is synonymous with source, infinite divine source. And those rays of singing light that come from Creator, that come from Mother, Father, God, live within each human being as your chakras, as your batteries of spiritual energy. You can see them outside of you in every rainbow that comes after a storm. Violet is your crown. Ruby is the root. And that ruby energy is the divine mother's singing light. That ruby energy holds you in safety and security. And so the violet has both. It has ruby, but also the highest will of your throat chakra. That chakra gives you courage and helps you to know the truth. Human beings, we so love you. You are a rainbow. Be the rainbow of love. Tap into this incredible power within you. Open that creative imagination with color and watch all things within you and all around you and beyond you change for the better. Change for the better.
Thank you, 12 Archangels. This is Belinda Womack and the 12 Archangels. You are personally invited by them to receive all that you desire from Source, especially the true happiness that often seems out of reach. Your soul has the clear guidance and tools to help you move from lack to abundance and attract wealth and healing, and the Archangels will show you how, helping you connect with the boundless care and deep pockets of your soul to transform financial struggles and eliminate self-doubt. The 12 Archangels show that life keeps improving when you make room for the vast flow of creative genius and abundance coming from the universe through the divine feminine. Check out BelindaWomack.com for all that she does, online courses, personal consultations, and her books. Thank you, Belinda, for being on the 1111 Talk Radio. Thank you, 12 Archangels. Until next week, I am Simran, in love, of love, with love, and as love. Be well.
Thank you for opening your mind to a new reality, your heart to greater compassion, and your experience of aliveness with 1111 Talk Radio. Join host Simran next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to step through the gateway of conscious living here on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Remember, you are not on the journey. You are the journey.